Hi everyone, I'm Shae Chester and I'm the National Community Educator for Canteen Australia. I've been fortunate to work for Canteen since 2009 in many different roles, which has given me an insight to working across Australia with our teams, but more importantly with our young people and their families. I'm very passionate about working with the community collaboratively so we can grow our services around Australia to support more young people and their families.
Hi folks, I'm Sally. My background is social work and I'm the family coordinator for Canteen Australia as well as a canteen counsellor. I've been with Canteen since 2018 and in that time I've worked with both parents and young people living through cancer in therapeutic roles. I'm passionate about recognising and upholding insider knowledge and resilience within families, as well as helping to support families stay connected in challenging times. Shae and I are here today to share some tips for parenting through illness, whilst also dealing with life in isolation because of the coronavirus and the physical distancing restrictions that have been put in place for our health and safety. The world and life as we know it has changed drastically in the last few months due to COVID-19. And just like when significant illness crashes into a family's world, we understand that for many, COVID-19 has also come in crashing into their worlds.
Canteen is a charity that supports young people and parents who have been impacted by cancer. We know that living with a life-limiting or life-impacting illness can present many physical and emotional challenges to both patients and their families. We know as parents ourselves that parenting is a tough enough job without adding illness into the mix. While there's no single formula that can make parenting through illness easy, there are some practical tools, strategies, and resources that can help. Research shows that when parents cope better and communicate openly, their children are less likely to experience distress and anxiety, which is one of the reasons we extended our services to support parents through cancer challenges. With the help of Metricon, we are out now also extending our services to community education for parenting through life-limiting and life-impacting illnesses.
Acknowledge the challenges. We are all grieving the loss of our freedom and sense of independence, all which can have huge impacts on our mental health and well-being and leave us feeling at times overwhelmed or stressed. Some families in the community are single parents and dealing with their illness as well as this pandemic on their own. Some of our community are also living within complex family structures which are adding to distress. Parents that are living through life-limiting illness may also be at increased risk and more vulnerable to infections, and therefore are further isolated from their loved ones.
As parents, what can you do? Communicating with children during COVID-19 pandemic is similar to what we have learned about parents communicating about cancer and other illnesses. Even though some topics are really hard to talk about, being open and honest with your children is the best way to help them cope. Young people want to be told the truth, even if it's difficult news for you to share and difficult for them to hear. Being honest about what's happening helps young people to adapt and shows them that you trust and value them. So what can you do? Have an open and honest conversation with your children. You can start this by asking them what they already know, so you know how much to share with them. Think about what do you want them to know and what do you really need them to know. In relation to illnesses, this might be finding out what they know about the illness already. What do they know about the treatment, the side effects, and what the prognosis is? Similarly with COVID-19, you can ask what have they already heard? Do they have any concerns? And if they have an understanding that's incorrect, you can let them know that and reassure them and provide them with age-appropriate information. Being transparent about illness and also balancing that reality of hope. What things will remain the same? Identify things within your family that will remain the same despite the illness or the pandemic. You still have time together. Love certainly hasn't changed. Of course, it's strange telling your children something that will make them distressed. As parents, you're wired to protect them. However, by being transparent, you're not harming them. You're helping their future well-being and their future connections within your family. We know at Canteen through research that wellbeing outcomes for young people are far better if there's transparency about diagnosis and prognosis.
Reflect on your values. So what are your values as an individual and as a family? Identify some activities as a family or on your own that are important for you to engage in every week or every month as part of living towards these values. If staying connected as a family is a value for you, think about ways you can be creative in spending fun and light time together. This may be as simple as walking the dog once a week as a family, or having one family meal together, or playing silly games in the evenings. It's important to reflect on what's okay to fall away too. These aren't ordinary times, and as such, it's important to adjust expectations on yourself and as a family accordingly. Be kind to yourself. Remember, as a parent, there will always be days when parenting is even harder than usual. It's okay if things don't go as planned. Be kind to yourself and know that being a good enough parent most of the time is enough. Remember, you are the expert in the life of your own family. We've shared ideas about parenting through illness and the pandemic, but you as the parent are the one who has the insider knowledge and intuition into the needs of your child or children. Recognize your special knowledge of how to get through tough situations. Think about a time in the past that's been difficult and that you've gotten through. What did you do then? And what are you doing now to get through?
Acknowledge the opportunities. From talking to families connected with Canteen, we know just how difficult COVID-19 has been on top of parenting through cancer or illness already. Some families, though, have spoken with us about some opportunities in this current situation. Some of our families have shared that they've been enjoying a slower pace of life and that they've been able to spend some more time with their children than they did before. As restrictions are easing, some people might reflect on what they have enjoyed during this time and can take forward into the new normal.
So, some practical things that might be helpful. So the first one, make a list of ways you got through difficult situations in the past. What helped and what didn't help? Who can you talk to when things are feeling tough? Identify support people. Now, these could be people in your personal life or professionals. Identify your values in parenting. Think about, where have they come from? And how can you live towards these values now within the life of your family? And parenting is different when illness and COVID are in your world. You can't hold yourself to the same standards as before. What are some things you can move to the side or delegate when things are feeling tough?
So the more important message that we want you to take away right now is it's okay to feel overwhelmed and worried. Focus on what you can control and try some of the practical tips that we've shared today. We know some people returning to what was normal can also be causing some distress and worry, and you're not alone. Reach out for help. We are all in this together. Thank you.
Thank you.